the County Commission meeting for Jackson County for December 8th, 2020. At this time, Ms. Willan, would you do the prayer, and then we'll do the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity once again to come together as a local government. God, I do pray over each of these men that your hand would be upon them, that they would make wise decisions that are in the best interest of all the citizens of Jackson County. And we just love you and give you the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to take this opportunity to say thanks for everyone that has made the effort to come to the boardroom, and also thanks to everyone that tuned in via Zoom. Ms. Daniels.
Yes, sir. We have several items, changes to the agenda, and I do apologize. This is an extraordinarily large agenda due to one meeting this month. But we are going to move to consent agenda. Section 1, item 7 is moved to item 1E, which is request board approval to purchase items under CARES funding. We've been moving those or doing those under consent. If anyone has any questions, however, we can discuss that when we get there.
What was that number again?
It's going to be under section 1, item 7 is being moved to item 1E under consent agenda.
Okay.
And that is Chief Bruner's CARES funding request.
Okay.
And then additions to section 1, we're going to have a number 30, request approval to adopt the Rural Economic Development Innovation Plan. Number 31, request board approval of change order and certificate of final completion for Citizens Lodge roof repair. Number 32, request board approval to reject bids for RFP to the fiber optic communication line from the courthouse. Number 33, request board approval of the change order certificate of final completion for the courthouse renovations. And lastly, number 34, request board approval of capital engineering proposal for CEI on Southern Boulevard.
Offer a motion to approve the recommended changes and additions to the agenda.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. What's the pleasure of the board? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed likewise. Okay, consent agenda items. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the consent agenda items?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda items. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill. Motion by Commissioner Pate and second by Commissioner Hill. Okay, all of those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Passes 5-0, both of them. Okay. We are on item number 2, Ms. Daniels.
Ms. Austin is going to present item number 2.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm just going to read the proclamation for the Employee of the Month for December 2020. And whereas Jackson County has established an Employee of the Month program to recognize one employee to represent the various departments. And whereas Kimberly Williams began her employment with the county on October 9, 2019 in the position of Administrative Support 3 for Community Development and has been selected as the Employee of the Month for December 2020 for the standards that she has displayed in the performance of her job duties. And whereas Ms. Williams is an exemplary employee who demonstrates professionalism in every task she faces, her loyalty and commitment to Jackson County are noticed and admired by her coworkers. And whereas Ms. Williams is a dedicated employee that handles issues that arise in a timely and efficient manner, she always goes above and beyond her everyday duties to assist the public and coworkers. Ms. Williams is dedicated and steps up to the plate when times are tough. As a result, she has built trust with her coworkers and that they know that they can depend on her. Ms. Williams always has a smile on her face and exhibits a positive attitude when conducting tasks, no matter the circumstances. Ms. Williams sets a good example for other employees with her work ethic and has proven to be a valuable asset to the Community Development Department. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Jackson County, Florida commends and congratulates Kimberly Williams on her selection as Employee of the Month for December of 2020. Ms. Williams?
Fat boy, you don't have to do that.
Sorry.
Okay. And we also have a special,
Hang on one second. We'll do the motion when I finish this.
we have a special recognition today that if I could have Chief Bruner come forward. I'm going to read an employee recognition, if you'll just stand with the chairman. Whereas the year 2020 has been an extraordinary year due to the novel coronavirus pandemic, and whereas Charles H. Bruner began his employment with the county on January 2nd, 2019 as Chief of Fire Rescue, and is being recognized for the standards that he has displayed in the performance of his job duties, and whereas Chief Bruner is an exemplary employee who demonstrates professionalism in every task he faces, his loyalty and commitment to Jackson County are noticed and admired by many, and whereas Chief Bruner is a dedicated employee that handles issues that arise in a timely and efficient manner, Chief Bruner always has a smile on his face and exhibits a positive attitude when conducting tasks, no matter the circumstances. He sets a good example in his work ethic, and he's a valuable asset to the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners. And whereas Chief Bruner became chief at a time when the department was short-staffed by 12 positions, he has successfully led his department to full staffing. Additionally, under Chief Bruner's leadership, the county has been awarded over $900,000 in grant funding for ambulances, emergency response equipment, and fire gear necessary to respond to emergencies in our community. And whereas Chief Bruner has led Jackson County Fire Rescue through the pandemic, while this is the first pandemic of this magnitude to impact Jackson County, Chief Bruner quickly implemented proactive policies and standards to respond to COVID-19. In addition, he used CARES funding to bolster Fire Rescue's ability to respond to the pandemic by purchasing medical, technological, and other necessary items to provide the best response to citizens as possible. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Jackson County, Florida commends and congratulates Charlie Bruner on his outstanding performance over the past year.
Get it?
Thank you, Chief.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve the nominated individual as December, which would be Ms.
Williams.
Williams, of 2020 Employee of the Month, and authorize a $50 check and a paid day off.
Second. Second? Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. 5-0. Okay. Ms. Sandy Martin is going to give us a briefing on COVID.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a short brief this morning with a couple of changes. I did pass out the state of Florida information as of yesterday, as well as Jackson County. The first two pages are state of Florida and the second two are Jackson County. Our current positivity rate statewide is 7.92%. Jackson County is 8.83% positive as of yesterday, with total Jackson County cases at 4,043. The number currently monitored, that's those within their 10-day infection period as identified by the CDC, is 282 at present. Most of those are representative of the community, 230, 35 from long-term care facilities, 14 associated with schools, and 3 associated with Department of Corrections. Jackson Hospital has 19 patients in-house. And we have a total of 99 deaths in Jackson County of COVID-19. I do want to point out that death number sometimes changes just a little bit because at the state level, epidemiologists are going through data that's been submitted by the medical examiner's office and sometimes taking off the COVID-19 deaths because of other comorbidities. So sometimes that does shift just a little bit if you see that change. I am proud to say we have better treatment options, and we are seeing a slowdown in the deaths from COVID-19 as well as significant illness. State of Florida has submitted their first order for vaccines. That's not Jackson County, that's the state of Florida. So vaccines are coming. I do suspect that some activity might start happening within this month, although I'm not sure of that. We do have 100% of our long-term care facilities signed up with CVS or Walgreens to immunize the staff and residents at all long-term care facilities in Jackson County. The next tier will be hospital staff, then first responders, and then the general public. Want to remind you that we're testing every Tuesday from 9 to 11 at the health department. That's a drive-through format. It is an oral swab. It is a PCR test that is sent to the state health lab. It does have a 24-hour response time for results. However, that's 24 hours from arrival at the lab. So it does take a day or so to get results. The CDC did change some guidance for contacts only, not for positives. Positive cases remained isolation for 10 days from the date of their first symptom, or if they are asymptomatic, 10 days from the date of their test, okay? For those under quarantine, those close contacts identified, close contact, which is within 6 feet for 15 minutes or greater of a positive case. Those we are quarantining for 14 days. That remains the same, and that is the gold standard for 14 days. However, the CDC has identified cases where you can leave quarantine early. There's two scenarios. One is if you are tested with a PCR test, that's not a rapid antigen test, but a PCR test that is sent to a lab. You can test on day 6 or later if you remain asymptomatic, and if that test result is negative, you can leave quarantine on day 8. I can write all that down. If you do not choose to have testing and you remain asymptomatic, you could leave quarantine on day 11. Okay, so there's 2 ways to leave quarantine. Department of Health is charged with quarantine of individuals, so it's up to our state surgeon general what guidance we follow. Typically, we follow to the letter CDC guidance. However, this time we are using a tiered approach, and we've already applied that guidance to the K-8 schools. So that's been happening since Friday. So that's the quarantine guidance we're using with the school system. For the general public and for those with greater vulnerabilities, such as our long-term care facilities, it could be applied to prisons because of the setting. We're still waiting for guidance from our state surgeon general for how we're going to apply that. It may remain at 14 days. So I'll update you if and when we change that guidance for others. That's all I have today. I have questions. Yes, sir.
Chairman.
Go right ahead.
Relative to access to the vaccine, I guess it was the 4th tier, which is the general public. I assume that would be on a first come, first served basis, or how will that be? How will those vaccines be distributed?
Our plan is to distribute the vaccine in a variety of ways. So you're right, first come, first serve, and we'll probably have drive-throughs just like we're doing testing now, and we'll do that. But we will also identify places where we can have closed pods, such as, a big group of individuals. For instance, all county employees, all school board employees, maybe big centers like Family Dollar Distribution Center, places where we can go in, we know the number we're vaccinating, we can bring the amount that we need, and we can vaccinate large populations at one time, in addition to having drive-through locations as well.
You anticipate enough vaccines for the entire general population?
I do. Not at once, of course, but I do, yes.
Any other questions? Ms. Sandy, will you make sure that, or will Ann make sure we get that information from CDC pushed out to the general public about the quarantine, change in quarantine? Anything else? Thank you, Ms. Sandy. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Make everyone well.
Sandy, y'all don't do a press release on that?
Not at this time. We're not going to do a press release because we don't have the information for the general public as well.
Okay.
The information is publicly available. It was released by the CDC. The confusion comes in where when CDC guidance changes, sometimes people think that automatically changes things for everyone else, and it does not.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, moving along, Ms. Sarah Sun.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm here to request a E911 budget amendment in the amount of $14,400 to cover the cost of replacing lines at EOC from copper to fiber.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill and a second by Commissioner Donifro. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All of those opposed, like sign. 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Joey Stakowitz.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Morning.
My first request is board approval of RJ Young leases for multifunction printers, copiers for the public library's main branch, the Graceville branch, and the Emergency Operations Center. So these are RJ Young leases that have expired that we're just renewing.
Are these budgeted items?
Yes, well, I mean, they would have had to been because the lease just, I mean, it just expired, so we just need to renew it.
Okay. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner McKinney and a second by Commissioner Hill. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Vote yes. 5-0.
Thank you. My second item is board approval of the Verizon Connect GPS hardware and service order. So during budget, I was tasked with skimming down our Verizon wireless bill and using that difference to try to add some GPS units to our account. So this is for a total of 55 units, and this only covers at this time road and bridge. So we're taking a phased approach to adding in the other departments. But for right now, this updates everything on the bill to get it current for road and bridge vehicles to make sure we've got everything taken care of for that department. So next we're going to work on public works, animal control, and spreading it out to other departments.
Any questions? I hear a motion.
Make a motion to grant the request.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. 5-0.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I just make a clarification on that item?
Yes, ma'am.
So we did start with road and bridge, but on the next phase, we will look at fire rescue, public works, and all the other departments. We just wanted to proceed since he had this work order ready to go through, but we'll be coming back in the next month or so with the rest of the department.
Well, on our last bill, road and bridge was all that was on it. So we wanted to go ahead and get that corrected because we had some surplus units that we weren't using. So this updates it and makes sure that everything current is going to actually be used and the equipment gets updated.
When is it
So
gonna be
we'll
up and running?
Sir?
When will it be running? When will it be running?
Once we get this executed, they're going to ship us out the equipment, help us install it, and we'll have it good to go. And then we'll have a monitoring software on the backside where we can keep track of it.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
You did on stuff.
Okay. Okay, Chief Bruner, item 7.
Seven
Actually,
was-
8.
Yeah.
Item 8.
was good.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
We'll go in digital here, trying to save a little bit of paper here, but this is a request for board consideration to waive the ambulance standby fees for the Alabama Junior Rodeo Association event that they're planning to hold on February 13th and February 14th, 2021, for a total hours of 16 hours, 8 hours each day, and that the fees would amount to $1,600 for an ambulance standby. This rodeo is a nonprofit organization that puts on rodeos for children ages kindergarten through 8th grades. They do not take any gate fees, and they use the funds that are raised to put back as pay for the stock, the judges, so they're asking for board to consider waiving those fees
So moved, Mr.
for this
Chairman.
event.
Okay. We
Just
have a
been-
motion by Commissioner Hill, and we have a second by,
Yes, I'll
Do
second.
you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question, but
Okay.
second motion to move to the question. Has this been done before? I mean, is this kind of precedent?
We gotta pull our Locky thing here. Have we done, yeah, have we
Yes,
done
we
this
have.
before?
We have done it.
It's on a
We
kind of
have?
a case-by-case basis.
We
I
have?
thought we waived the ambulance fees for.
Through our last office, we researched it. So they didn't have a rodeo in 2018 because of the hurricane, and then 2019 because of the recovery. They did not have a junior rodeo here in this county at all in 2020 either. So the last one we found in our records was 2017, and the board did waive the fees at that one.
But in generality, we usually have waived ambulance fees.
Well, this is a nonprofit, not like some of the
We
groups
charged a
that are
lot,
doing
but
it.
I guess they're not nonprofit.
Yeah, that's probably.
Right.
Yeah, we just
Because
wanna make
each
sure
time
that-
we're requested to do a standby, we have to bring it to the board
Right, sure.
for approval.
Any more questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign, 5-0. The motion was by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donifro. Okay, Chief Bruner, you have the next one.
Yes, sir. This is a request for board consideration of the town of Alford's request to increase the rent for the fire rescue substation space from $250 a month to $450 a month. This rent will include the new renovated living quarters with all utilities, including electric, water, sewer, and garbage, except cable and internet. Fire rescue moved into the new space in December of 2019 following renovations after Hurricane Michael. Currently, our rent is $3,000 per year, and a rent increase would equate to $5,400 or a difference of $2,400. But just want to add a side note on there. They have taken very good care of our department and providing a very nice livable space for our crews in that area. And
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Pate. Are there any questions? Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign.
no, that
Okay,
wraps me up. Y'all have a Merry Christmas if I don't see y'all.
Thank you. Thanks for all your hard work, Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Danielle is not here. Who's going to take care
I
of it?
will. The next three items, 10, 11, and 12, are all acceptance of E91 rural county reimbursement grants.
Do them together.
Yeah, I was thinking you could do them together. I'm just
Sure.
going, the grant numbers are S1620-09-04, and then -05, and 20-10. There are three separate grants, and the chairman needs to be authorized to sign them.
So move. Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, approved and seconded by Commissioner McKinney to do all three of them to accept these grants, allowing me to sign. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign, carries 5-0.
Okay, the next item is an amendment to supervisor elections when they calculated some of the salaries. It was a miscalculation that they caught, page 115. It will be paid out of contingency. General fund contingency is $8,433.
Did they give us a reason?
And I don't know this, but, someone may know, but I'm guessing that the retirement is the biggest part of that, and it could be, some of them were under the drop retirement that are retiring, and then it goes up if it's regular retirement.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Donifro. Okay, are there any discussions, any questions? Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. 5-0. Okay. Item 14, Rhett Daniels.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chairman,
Good
Board.
morning.
First off, I want to apologize for some changes we had to make in the math in this presentation for this item. So I'll go over the accurate numbers with you, and then we can discuss as needed. So first off, I want to request board approval of change order and final pay request to Whitaker Company for completion of the Jackson Blue Springs Stormwater Restoration Project. So the total original grant amount for the construction was $599,670. All right. Due to the fact that the water in the mill pond did not recede as much as we had hoped when we did the mill pond, we had to change our approach a little bit and ended up having to pour a lot more concrete than originally budgeted. So we had to have a change order to the amount of $76,900, bringing the total project to $676,570. So we had some contingency money in the project to the amount of $17,530, which left a difference of $54,370. So what we'd like to do is ask the board to, the out-of-pocket cost will be $54,370. Now, we do have the option to use a portion of TDC funds because it is a beach shoreline restoration project, which is reasonable under state statute for TDC funds. So
How much can you use?
we don't have a hard number because the statute says we can use 10% of the annual revenue for TDC, but it doesn't say if it's the current year, the year prior, a 3-year average. So it's hard to really get a number. We're estimating around $30,000 of TDC funds to go to the 54. So we'll be asking for board to approve around $25,000 out of county contingency
But
funds.
the motion needs to be to approve the change order initially, and then we work on how it's going to be funded.
Yes, sir.
So I make a motion, we approve the change order. Would that need to be two separate motions, or just, I can bundle that as one? I make a motion, we approve the change order as requested by Red, and also putting 30,000 out of TDC, and that remaining would come out of
County contingency.
County contingency.
Could you actually do that in two separate motions?
Oh, where do you need me to break it out?
With the TDC, because you need
Okay.
to make the findings.
Fine, thanks. Okay, very good. I'll make that motion that we set the recommendation by Red,
Second.
For the change
for
order,
the change order.
and then we'll do the funding.
Yeah, I'll do the funding.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donifro, to approve the change order.
And the change order amount was $54,370, correct?
The total was $76,900, but
The
we did
change order.
have project contingency that can cover some of that. So the total change order from the county will be $54,370. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else? All right, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
So I make a motion now that we use $30,000 to remaining balance of $54,370 of that. $30,000 that will come out of TDC. The remaining of that would be $24,370 will come out of contingency.
And that the use is specific to
Yep. Yeah. For the shoreline project, is that what you want?
you need to make the finding that that expenditure is.
Yeah, that finding for the
remaining
use of
for-
TDC money would be used for TDC, and the finding for state guidelines, I guess you would say.
Second motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donifro. Any more questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
I
I'm
did
sorry
have
for
one
the
question.
confusion.
No, it's all right. Do you have a timeframe on the completion? It's through?
It's
It's
done.
through now?
Yeah, we are, the last bit of handrails is ordered. We expect to have in later this week. And then once those are installed, we'll be able to raise the pond back up to normal level by the end
Very
of the
good. It
year.
looked good. I went out there, it looked really good.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you, if any of y'all want to go out and do a site visit, let me know. I'll be glad to take you, show you that.
So you're going to publicize when you're going to raise the pond?
Yes, sir. Once we
Give them a
receive the
little time, the
material-
ones that are working on docks?
That's right. So once we actually get a hard date, when the materials are received and installed, we'll reach out to, newspaper, radio. All our county Facebook page has been getting a lot of traffic, so we'll try to get the word out best we can.
How long has it been down?
3 months.
3 months.
Clay, you got that motion and the change it on
I got one last question for Red. Red, have we considered again, I think we talked about a couple of, 3 years ago about having a yearly pass. Do we have that? Where you can buy a yearly pass for Blue Springs? What's
Yeah,
that amount? What's that amount? I had
It's $30
$30.
for,
Is it per person or is that family included?
it's
below a
$30 per person, but we do also offer it to military first responders half price. So a military family or first responder family, everyone gets it for $15.
Okay. So there are no age brackets of kids. Kids are.
500 is free.
500, okay. great.
Regardless, and then anything over that, you can pay the daily admission fee, $4 per person or annual pass.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
All right.
anything else for Mr. Daniels?
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Red. Scotty Taylor.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and board members.
Morning.
You wanna come up and just gonna be fast? You wanna get, well, first item, we got, Southern Boulevard request board approval to, award bid 2021-06 Southern Boulevard paving improvement that, was, put out by, designed and, bid for by David Melvin, Rod Adams, going, take any questions. Do I have any of this request?
Do you have any questions?
Yes. When was this, scrap funding
17.
requested? Because I don't remember.
17.
It's been a while.
17.
I thought the project was
The
complete.
best information I could get out of DOT was there was some kind of money to do with Hurricane Michael out there, and they picked up some older roads that had been submitted, and funded. But they were submitted in 17, these 3 roads that we got last year, they were submitted in 17.
So what was the 3 of them in the package? I know.
Longview, Mockingbird, and Southern.
6 was out.
My own information, where is Southern Boulevard?
It's in Compass
Just
Lake.
off of North Tech, in another little road there, but
In between,
Okay.
so east or west
I think
of
that was-
the Panama City cutoff on North Tech.
Yeah, I
I think
talked
that
to
was
Scotty
submitted
about
by our
our
last,
last.
engineer that we didn't, not David Melvin, but Alvarez.
Um,
I don't even remember that happening.
So Baxter's is the low bidder, is that correct?
yes, Baxter's was low bidder at 972, 269.
922. 922.
I got 22.
I got 22 on the written part. Is there-
What
The
have y'all
real part, there was a correction in the email that came out afterwards, but I got put in there. It's actually 972, 269.57.
Okay. There's probably a typographical error here.
What it was, commissioners, is on their bid, they didn't include the $50,000 of contingency in their bid amount when they were supposed to. They just didn't include it. So that's what made it go to 972.
How long was that road, Scotty? A mile and a quarter, maybe?
It's, a mile, 1.25 miles.
They did not include the contingency, and it was a bid requirement. Is it a line item that
It was
was
a line
obvious?
item at the bottom of
They just
the,
didn't add it.
they just didn't add it to their total.
If the number, they got the number there, it's just they had a match there.
But the total bid is 922, 269.57, correct? The total with the with the 50,000.
No,
No,
972.
972.
Okay, so the 72,
269.5.
that makes an easy change of 2 to 7.
50. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to, grant the request,
Second.
or award the
Okay.
bid.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Pate, second by Commissioner Donifro, to award the bid to Baxter's Asphalt. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Patty, can I get you to talk into the microphone a little more?
Can we slide it forward? Is there a way to slide the bar forward and then, something to lean on the table?
Okay.
The next item is, item 15, request board approval to award, bid 2021-ENG-01, District 2, chip seal with asphalt option on the 4177 project, the lowest bidder, which was Anderson Columbia at $880,000, $728.59. which is below the budgeted number,
Mr. Chairman,
and then that's through the 4177 FEMA funds.
Yes, sir, Mr. Pate.
I'll take great pride in making a motion to award this bid.
I'll second it for you.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Pate, seconded by Commissioner Hill to award this bid. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
My next item is, item 16, board approval of professional services by Jones Edmond Associates for the fiscal year 2021 permit renewal and water quality technical report out of the East Landfill. It's a 5-year permit, so we only have to do this every 5 years. It's a budget item, $35,745.
How much longer have we got on this, guy?
I asked that question yesterday and she hadn't got back to me on it, because like I said, I was asked myself that.
I think I asked this question the last time it came
Till
up.
it's clean, I guess.
Well, all our
No,
stuff
50
came back
years,
good
I
this
think.
year, you know, and, we didn't have any issues. But I asked her that yesterday and she was checking on it,
All right.
because this started in 2005.
Oh, it started in 05.
I'll offer a motion to approve the request and authorize the chairman to sign.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Donifro, seconded by Commissioner Hill, to approve. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
My next item is, item 17, be board approval of, professional services by Jones Edmond Associates for Jackson County East Landfill 2021 FDP required compliance and assessment groundwater and landfill gas monitoring, which is what we have to do every year.
18.
Okay. Your number system's off. Is your numbers off?
He
on
just
your-
said 17, it's
Yeah, you
18.
It's 18.
Mine, on my agenda, my number on my agenda paper here, where I wrote
Okay,
them
I just
down
made
wrong.
sure I was
Okay,
on the
I got
right
y'all.
page. It's 18.
And my paper's at 17. They might have changed it after I printed it. But anyway, that's the regular annual, monitoring what we do on the groundwater and the gas, in the amount of $49,970 to the budget item.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Pate, and a second by Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, Hunter.
You got
Nope, you got one more.
I got an addition. You want to go ahead and do it? Or,
Which, let me
I
find
think
it.
the last one.
34?
Yeah,
Okay.
34.
Go ahead, Scotty.
It's request board
Item
approval.
34.
Give me addition.
Request board approval of capital engineering proposal for CEI services on Southern Boulevard paving improvement project under the continuing service contract for professional services.
That's on the rotation.
Yes, it's on the rotation and it's in the amount of $94,080.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Pate. Any questions?
Is this amount, kind of in line with?
Yes, sir. We negotiated it. It's actually 9% of, the actual contract. We always negotiate them.
Okay. Any more questions? All right. All those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you all. Sorry for confusion on the number.
That's okay. All right, item 19, Hunter Potts.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
All right, so first item 19, asking board approval to award RFP 2021-02 Blue Springs fence repair to lowest bidder. This is the fence that runs from the top of the park by the parking lot, or the employee parking lot, all the way down to the water. So it's approximately 450 linear feet. So the low bid came in at $12,585. So if we did 87.5% cost share, the cost to the county would be $1,573.14. So
move, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner McKinney. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Carries 5-0.
Okay. Item 20 is to ask board approval to award RFP 2021-03 for moving and replacing the health department pole barn. Award it to the lowest bidder. The first bid was to Missy Mossy. The second bid would be to Missy Mossy. The cost share to the county is going to be that 87.5% again. So we're asking for the cost of the county to be like $8,000 roughly. Mosquito control will pay half of that. So the cost to the county would be around $4,140.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Pate. Any questions? I got one comment. When's Missy Bossy gonna work on roads?
Yesterday afternoon, he's supposed to start trying this week, start moving some of the dirt on your district.
Okay. All right.
What happened to 2 and 4?
All right,
What happened to 2 and 4?
we ain't worried about 2 and 4.
Morning, wasn't it?
2 and 4 is the ones they're supposed to be working on.
They're still working on them.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Pate. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Item 21 is asking for board approval of the design service proposal / contract for the old sheriff's office roof repairs. So we're going to ask them to do a spec and scope for a complete roof restoration and a roof replacement. That way, hopefully we can see both prices and get back and kind of have the option to choose which one we want to do. So the amount of that was going to be $67,144, and that's going to come from our net actual cash value claim from insurance. That's where we're going to pay for that from.
What's the total price on it? So we don't have the price on the roof restoration total?
Estimated cost of
Yeah.
$720,000.
Estimated cost, yes, but the actual cost, we'll have to go out for bid for that, so.
Make a motion to approve the design services for the old sheriff's building.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Pate.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner McKinney. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Before we take,
You got a question?
Yeah, one comment actually. And of course, I know CRA, a good architectural firm. I know Bill Rutherford and Greg Kelly real well. And I made this mention to Willan. This is a very high fee for this type of work. Yeah, again, I know it's hard to get architectural firms to work on this type of stuff, but it's a high fee.
I did actually ask Hunter if he would reach out. Did you reach out yet?
Not yet.
To see if they would be willing to negotiate that down. Commissioner Donafer shared that it should really be more like 6%.
We do a lot, and we've done a lot of re-roofing work like this, and we're usually in the neighborhood of 5.5 to 6%, especially on a bigger project like this. So this equates to 9.33%. So it's a fairly high fee.
Would it not be?
Well,
So it does include,
You want to withdraw your second? You want to?
Yeah, I'll send mine.
Okay.
so
So what are the instructions for the staff?
Again, I would like to at least reach out to them and ask them if they would be willing to negotiate down a little bit. I just, again, we do a lot of this type of work, and I know we're local so that we can do it more competitively, but that's a pretty big increase.
Where are they located?
Tallahassee.
So do your proposals usually include the contract administration on the side of that too?
We would do more contract administration than they'll do coming from Tallahassee. So again, it's a high fee.
So our contract doesn't allow us to stipulate what we're going to pay, so we can't really negotiate that way. But so yeah, I guess we have two options. We can either put it out to bid for services for the specific building. It's going to put you back another month because the next meeting won't be till January.
Well, we've been 2 years already,
So
that's another month.
And we're sort of limited because the insurance funds, we got to have it done by October of this year. So I mean, it's going to put it a little tighter, but I think
October of 2021?
Right.
Yes, so that's really the crunch for the time is in order to reclaim all of our insurance proceeds, which would be a couple $100,000 that we leave on the table if we don't have it complete by October 21.
Well, then we put a stipulation there that they have to have it done or put a surety bond on them.
Yeah, so we can
I
do
mean,
that.
if whoever has to bid has to have the surety bond to protect us in that.
So what if, just hypothetical, if it comes back higher than what they originally gave us? What's the?
Well, we'll go back to the one who's lower.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I make a
Yes, sir.
motion that we table this to the January meeting.
Is there a second?
Second on that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Pate, second by Commissioner Hill to table till January. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries
I'll
5-0
ask
to
a
table.
question on that. So what in the meantime are we gonna do though? Our intent is to go out and, we don't wanna sit a month and then get here to table it and discuss it. in
So what I'm
January.
gonna do after this meeting is to put it out to bid immediately, so it can be, either this Thursday or next Thursday. And we'll have an answer hopefully by early January, so it'll be on the agenda.
Are
for
they the only
January.
ones that responded initially on this? Was that just that one company?
You've got a continuing
Right.
service contract with CRA.
Right.
So they're your continuing service architectural. Sure. Now, all I'm saying is go to them and ask them, say that you've been questioned as far as the amount of your fee. Is there any room to lower it? And just see if they'll do it. It's a
Okay.
high fee.
Now, you mentioned we can't negotiate that way. What was your statement on
You
that?
can negotiate.
Yeah, but I think
How
it was
can- why
CRA.
can you not?
So in the contract, it says
Yeah.
the county can't say what they're gonna pay for it, but we can
No,
totally go back and ask.
don't tell them what we're paying.
All right, yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's
You just get it down as
Suppose
low
all
as they'll go.
negotiational
So
thing.
so you want it to be at 6%, that's the number you'll be happy with? 6% of the 720,000?
Equals
Yeah.
7%. This is
7%?
9.3%,
Okay.
which is a high fee.
So I would recommend that we, if you all would entertain a motion to, if they would be willing, whatever that amount is that you're comfortable with, so that way we could proceed with this. But if they will not negotiate, then we put it out to bid and we go that route.
Yeah, but we don't need to have a meeting to determine those two decisions. That decision needs to be automatically,
Right.
In
So if they won't
place if they don't
negotiate, then we
negotiate.
go out to bid.
yeah, I mean,
We're all good with that.
yeah, I think we're all good with that, yeah.
I don't
So
know if we
contingent-
can actually put it out
I don't
to
know.
bid. I don't know, when you say put what out to bid, the
Um,
architectural services?
The actual service,
You
or
can't-
not bid, but RFQ, I guess.
We got a continuum with CRA is what you're saying?
Yeah, you've got,
So they are,
we've got a continuing
our
service contract with CRA. They were hired based on qualifications. Again, I'm just saying, go to them and say, look, would you be willing to negotiate down a little bit?
But if they say,
If they say no, I mean, we're locked in with them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, they have no reason to say yes.
Why are we locked in?
We're
because
in
you got
contract
continued
with them.
service.
Because if you don't use them, then you've got to hire another architectural firm to do this work, and to do that, you've got to go through an RFQ process.
That part is correct. We're not bound to use them, but if we don't use them, then we have to go through our regular procurement process.
So we have more than one
Yeah, that's my
architect?
question. Why would we not have more than one architectural firm on?
That's because we didn't do the one.
Right. We actually need more than one.
Well, yeah, we do in this situation.
Well, let's go ahead and
Let's
put
plan
out for RFQ for another one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get it on the books.
I guess maybe I'm sorry.
Do I need to
So
make a
would your
motion?
motion be
No, we're
for
good.
acceptance of this contingent upon matching or meeting 7% of the 720,000? Can we make that a
We
motion?
good with that?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
All right, is that a
Don't we,
motion?
Wade?
Go ahead.
We just
Estimated
changed
amount.
it.
Clarify the motion, son.
Okay.
I ain't about to.
Bree's not here to ask.
Table,
Clay.
table it to January, but go back to CRA and look at, the percentage of what they charge us. Is that simple?
If they're willing to,
Lower it down to 7%, and if not,
go out for bid.
go out for RFQ.
Let's talk to
Do you, we said, do we want to table it though? Do you want to just go ahead and approve it upon?
Contingent on the 7%.
So I need to withdraw my table.
I don't think they would start work until the board actually approved of the work. So if you table the work, then that's a decision that you're not
Okay.
actually making the decision
Till
today.
January.
So it would be better if you want the work to proceed, if they'll come down on their fee, then you need to approve contingent upon them meeting that circumstance.
We're gonna shoot for 6, but 7 was.
So they're
said.
not obligated to even come down.
Right.
Okay, well, let it be known. Okay, all right, that's fine.
And none of
Okay,
this
are we
work is
good?
coming,
Or do I need to
none of this
redo it?
money is coming
No, I'm good
from
with
a federal source,
We
it's
good?
just insurance money.
What was
For now.
That's
This
one of these.
Right, but the ultimate roof work would be FEMA money.
a separate motion, right?
But we.
I just made a motion to
I
table
think we
to
need-
January. Okay,
Just start over,
why don't
just start
I
over.
withdraw my motion to table, and who was the second?
All right.
Okay, is that all right with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I withdraw my motion. Okay, now we're back to level
All right,
playing
now
ground.
give me a motion.
I don't even
You want me to
I'll
tell you
give it,
what to say?
I'll
Go
take it.
ahead.
All right, I make a motion, we, go negotiate with the contractor of record.
CRA.
CRA for them to negotiate as best they can, but I would prefer below 6, but if they'll go below 7, if not, we'll go out for bid for CRA. And I also make a motion that when this kicks in, that we make sure that the contractor of record goes to, has a surety bond attached to that for the deadline of previous to September 30th.
Is there a second? Did you get that, Clay? All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner McKinney, and
Okay, to
Commissioner
clarify.
Pate wants.
So if they come down to 7, we're good with that,
That's
and
right.
they can continue to work.
Right, that's right.
If not,
But whoever
We
the
go to
contractor
bid.
is, yeah, the contractor of record that builds it has to have a surety bond attached to that to make sure that they're completed by our deadline, or we don't lose how much?
Couple $100,000.
Yeah, we're not gonna lose that. So whoever that contractor that gets that award at that time, that we.
They just need to include that in the bid
Right.
specifications,
Right.
bid specification.
good.
And the other question is the 7% is 7% of the estimated cost of $720,000.
Right.
That's the figure that we're looking for.
That's one we're
What
making.
Because right now they're
Do you have a calculator?
9.3.
What's that figure right now?
It's the estimated cost that was included in the backup information.
720 times 7%.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
I got 50,400.
Y'all voting?
Sorry. I was calculating with my right finger.
Motion passes 5-0.
Got through that.
All
I
right.
just wanted to, if I could, go ahead.
No, I was just,
On the sheriff's office, I was speaking with Commissioner Hill before, just wanted to clarify for the rest of the board that there was some discussion of getting an appraisal or appraiser's opinion, and Robert Reef did go out months ago. He recommended it was, or he said it would be very difficult to market that building with the tower and the equipment and all of that. So all we're recommending at this point in time is let's get the roof on it while we have the money to do it, and then we'll come back to the board with maybe a clearer picture of what the future of that building could be used for.
All right, Hunter?
Yes, next item. Requesting board adoption of resolution supporting affordable and reliable high-speed internet throughout Florida. So this came from the Small County Coalition, and once we sign this, they want to send it out to DEO's Office of Broadband, the Governor's Office, and some other agencies.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donifro to support this resolution. I guess allow me to sign.
Yes.
Any questions? All right, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, it's 5-0. You get that, Clay? Yes, sir.
All right. Item 23, requesting board approval to renew the annual fuel contract with Bennett Eubanks Oil Company. The contract is slated to end on December 16th, so we're asking the board to renew it for one more year. Pricing, locations, quantities will stay the same, with the exception of a few different locations that change, like the fire station, but everything else will remain the same.
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hill. Is there a second?
second.
Second by Commissioner Pate. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign, motion carries 5-0. Hunter?
Yes.
Item 24.
This is asking board approval to amend section 4.A of the Jackson County Purchasing Policy, Local Preference Rule. So we wanted to amend this policy rule to make construction or improvements to real property exempt from this 5% match or 5% deduction. The reason for this is construction and improvement projects can vary widely in value and price. So that means for every $100,000, that's an advantage of a $5,000 to a local contractor. And then when you go higher up, millions of dollars you're talking about, that's a pretty big difference. So just want to make that a specification in the policy.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Hill. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Pate. Is there any discussion?
Again, I talked to Will Ann briefly about this. Is there any consideration given to maybe keeping this in place for smaller projects? I mean, I understand a 5% exemption on $1 million project is quite a difference. $10 million project is quite a difference as well. But for smaller projects, would it not make sense to leave it in place, or is there,
What
Are
dollar
there-
do you have in mind? What
like,
dollar? I mean, we don't want to
maybe
bring in huge companies that dominate all the contracts. I mean, we do want that local incentive for small. Do you have a dollar amount in mind?
I know, don't we do it on vehicles?
We're doing
I know a lot of
everything
vehicles
except
are
asphalt, I
first.
think, was pretty much
So the
the
five
rule.
percent would stay in place for all goods, including vehicles. So just so y'all can have the perspective on this one, why this came up, and there may be a dollar figure that would be a, you know, a sweet spot, but the SHIP program is, or the HHRP program is about to kick off with multiple houses being built. And so we did not want to create a situation where only local contractors, say one, was doing all the bidding and can't keep up because he's getting that preference, but can't keep up so that we can keep the building going. That's what brought this to our attention.
what cost, what range of cost are those? projects?
150 or above, $150,000 or above.
So if you did $100,000, that would still allow for us to not be hindered with the HHRP program, it sounds like.
So if we made the break point 100,000 or less.
Right.
Well-
Well, I guess.
I'm concerned about changing it. Because if you've got some local contractor that's bidding on everything and he can't perform the work, well, we won't award the work to him.
Well, I think the inadvertent thing you may run into is actually driving up the cost of the homes. If this person's getting a 5% break across, you could end up building one or two or more less homes over the entirety of that project. I don't know what 5% of $7 million is, but a lot that could have built multiple more homes. That's all. We just want to be sure we don't inadvertently cause harm to the program because it's well intended.
Could we exempt the SHIP projects?
You could.
How long has this 5% policy been in effect in the county?
Long time in here.
Before I got here.
Yeah,
Before we got here.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking of more of the commercial contractors
got-
that bid on commercial type projects and trying to protect them.
So our concern is the home building that may be coming, hopefully, that may stifle some of that because of the amount.
Okay.
Why don't we just follow you, Dennis? You
I just
recommend-
said exempt any of the SHIP programs from that
Just
5%.
exempt that, so that way, because that's the main concern right now.
So
just
it
the
would
ship.
be SHIP and HHRP. Wendy, do you feel that would satisfy it?
Could we say the Florida Housing Finance Corporation program?
Yes.
They're the funding agency.
Would that be pretty easy to differentiate?
Yes.
It would only be for this program, right?
For SHIP, HHRP, disaster recovery funds, that
The disaster recovery and not SHIP in the future.
And it really,
may I?
if the county is spending the county's money out of the county's coffers, then the county can have its local preference, that's fine. These preferences come up when we're dealing with the county spending money that it gets from federal or state sources. Some of the federal sources prohibit
Sure.
the use of local preferences. So that's why you don't see them on any of the road construction projects, because they're just outright prohibited. A lot of
Well,
the federal money that we get, we're also prohibited from using a local preference to award
well,
work.
the SHIP money is federal money, right? It's coming through the state, but it's federal money that came through the state.
Not just
I
like-
guarantee you ctrace it back and it'll go back to HUD.
not just dock stamps, closing costs.
But some of the other money, I don't know about, the disaster money could be federal money, but the pure
The
ship
disaster, I
money
guarantee
is
it's
done through dock stamps
She gets it.
and
Yes, we will.
Yes, Ms. Lincoln.
Commissioners, one of the other issues that may happen if we don't allow this exemption, we have very few local contractors that have worked with SHIP in the past. And if we had one that applied and that person kept getting the awards, one, it would do what Willan said. It would hold up the work progress. And two, it will deter the outer county local contractors that have been working with the program from applying in the future. They will back off.
Well, you basically, you create a monopoly for the person that's here.
Correct.
That simple thing. So again, Wendy, from your perspective, what would we need to exclude? That way we make sure that we want to keep that free market going, but also at the same time, we want to make sure we, don't prohibit anyone.
Well, in consideration for the future, could you say any Jackson County housing grants?
Well, I guess I would probably make a motion to go along with this, with some future consideration for projects that are funded utilizing contract, county money for commercial type projects, that there be some local preference added, so we could work on that a little bit later.
Yes, sir. At a minimum, the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, which has the programs that we administer today.
My concern is that perhaps we should need some language that would just say for this disaster recovery program is where I would prefer.
What's our
But
urgency
we've
on
had
this?
issues with SHIP, just regular SHIP, local housing assistance plan strategies, whereas since I've been in, it has been outer county contractors that have worked with the projects. If the projects go all to a local contractor, we're going to lose those good contractors that have been devoted to the program.
Yeah,
So-
and we
Yeah,
don't
but
want
if
to
you
do that,
get-
and I agree with that.
If you get a good contractor, local, who's taking care of all your shift needs, then all the jobs probably going to stay here in Jackson County. That's the flip side of the coin.
As long as he can meet demand, or she, whoever.
Well,
I mean.
they would
We
have,
well,
we have
Wendy,
a
what's
time
urgent-
limit
yeah, what's
on
urgent?
spending the funding, so, they would have to be able to rehab or build new homes within the timeframes allotted for the funding year that their money is being paid through.
Would this hurt if we just table this to January? Is there a time crunch on this?
The
On changing the
Hurricane
policy.
Housing Recovery Program is trying to go out for bid again on 7 homes.
So that,
And they're kind of waiting because they're waiting to see. But that's up to you.
what's the pleasure of the board?
we already got a motion in a
You got a
second. I just-
motion in a second. You can
Um,
call it,
Your
redo it.
policy already kind of reflects this ideal. This is the very first sentence says unless otherwise prohibited by prevailing law or policy. So there's already this kind of exception. It generally is there. What Wendy's asking you to do today is to clarify that a policy is going to exist to specifically exempt her work from this policy. This isn't something really novel. You've kind of already got it there. We just need this clarified.
So is the motion I made acceptable to fulfill that?
It's fine from a legal standpoint.
Okay, that's.
But does it do what you need to do?
What was the motion?
The motion was what
Oh,
was included.
Clay?
The motion was to approve the request, wasn't it?
Now, to approve the request.
Right.
To amend.
Changing 4.8 for in A, for purchasing policy.
Right.
And I don't know that that specifies what.
So so we have two options. One is to exempt all Florida Housing Finance Corporation programs, or to exempt it all across the board.
Right.
So you guys make the choice.
So do we need to redraw and withdraw our motion in a second and make a new one?
Yeah, I do. I want,
Or amend
Amend it. Oh, yeah, gotta do it.
Exclude.
Housing Finance
Right.
Corporation.
yeah, I'll make that amendment to it.
So you're amending your motion.
And I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have
We're
a
all good
motion.
on the same page?
No. I know what's going on, but no.
You don't know if the words are right.
So
If we don't work with-
FHFC programs are exempt from the local preference.
Right. If it don't work, we'll change it in January.
Mr. Chairman,
That's
Yes.
I'd
what
like to propose what they've stated, excluding construction or improvements to real property or existing structures funded through the Florida Housing Finance Corporation.
Which is doing what Wendy is concerned about.
Yes.
Are you suggesting we add that to the motion?
Yes, I think their language.
Clay, did you get all of that? Because I know Eric,
I think Eric was
Yeah,
was
that's my
Commissioner Hill
intent.
was-
So add Michelle's words to my motion, and that'll take care of it.
Okay. Any more discussion?
Turning my key.
All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign, motion carries 5-0. We need to take a break for the autism people out in Phoenix. We're doing a Zoom meeting with them. It's going to last about an hour, so we're going to recess what we're doing to get that in, and then we'll decide at the end whether or not we want to break for lunch or how we're going to handle it.
What time's it start?
It's supposed to start at 10. Joey,
I saw it at the city commission meeting. It is just about an hour.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We're going to attempt to pause this meeting, start the next one. So assuming that we're successful in being able to kick that first one, back on, you can use the same credentials that you logged onto this meeting with. If we are unsuccessful, we're going to post a new login link to the Jackson County website, jacksoncountyfl.gov. But our intent is to pause this one and be able to come back to it if we're haven't done that before. So if we're not successful, we'll post the.
give it a try.
Right.
Take the recess and start now.
We probably you need to take a break.
Well, I can do it on my own. I just didn't want to know if y'all was gonna take a break before we did while they paused.
Let's go ahead and start it.
We'll need a little time.
Oh, how much time you need? All right, we'll take a 5-minute break.
You got it.